see how our chiller did. So we have our chiller hooked up to the tub. It ran overnight, and now we have pretty clean water. And then you can see the back of the chiller. Let's see if this picks it up. It's our filter there. It's a little bit of a brown color. I have to filter in 100 gallons of water. But the chiller's off. It's just circulating water. So water is being pulled in from that bottom port. It goes through the chiller, filters it, and since the water is 36, 37 degrees, the chiller's not kicking on because that's as cold as it can make it. And it's cold out right now. But now we got some cold, clean water in a nice, comfortable tub. Circulating water makes a big difference too. So the last month I've been plunging, besides in the lake, the water gets pretty stagnant. Even if you move around, it helps a little bit, but when you stay still, or you're in still water, around your body there's something called a thermal barrier, and that forms a thermal bubble. It's like how the idea of how swimsuits work. How it holds a little bit of water close to your skin, and then your body heats up that water and it feels like you're in warmer water. So when you see people doing a cold plunge and they're not moving at all for a minute or two, it's starting to get easier because the water around them is moving and the water is calm. So I move my legs around a little bit, I move my body, my hands to keep the water moving. But when it's hooked up to a chiller like this chiller has a pretty strong water pump in it. So it's pulling water from near my feet, and the upper jet over here is blowing water right into my chest. So there's a whirlpool effect in here, so you don't form that thermal barrier, and it just stays a little harder the whole time. You can't cheat it. But also as you start to like it and cold plunge more, it gives that added challenge. So this is 36 degree water, but circulating. So I would say, I don't know what the, if there's not a formula for how hard it is, but it's when it's windy out, the wind chill, the moving air near your body makes it feel colder, but it's not actually colder. Same thing with this. Circulating water is going to feel colder than water that is perfectly calm and you're not moving in. So next time you plunge and you see a friend being perfectly still, back them off, buddy. Move around a little bit, and you'll see they won't want to move because it makes it harder. That's another pro to having a chiller. It puts that circulation just built into the plunge. And that circulation is it's one of the things that helps keep the water clean. There's stagnant water, if you look at a pond or water that's not moving, you'll see it'll grow stuff faster and get dirtier faster. So when you have a chiller, even if you don't have sanitization, just the circulation helps extend the life of the water being clean. So with this right now we have a 20 micron filter, so that's really small holes, microns, sucking this water through. I think we filter the 190 gallons or so every, about 5 or 6 times every hour. I have to double check the flow rate, and that changes a little bit as the filter gets dirtier. But so this water is going through a filter a few times, at least an hour, and it keeps it pretty good. But that's just taking out particulates, taking out hair and skin cells and bugs or whatever. It's not taking out viruses and bacteria. But since this water is so cold and moving, it doesn't grow algae and be a place for stuff like that to grow easily. But to kill those, that's where you use chlorine. We don't use chlorine, but people use chlorine. Ozone, which our chiller has, and then you can also use some food grade hydrogen peroxide, which I highly recommend as a safer, stronger oxidizer, something to kill those organisms. There is a product in the market that a lot of cold plunge companies use called Simply, and I'm pretty sure that's the name of it, but you shouldn't use that because there's a chemical in it that it's banned in Europe and it's known to be carcinogenic. So I would stay away from that product. They call it a non-chlorine, non-bromine cleaning agent, but there is a chemical in it that's toxic. That's why we don't recommend it. That's why we stick to dump our water more frequently, using ozone if you want to, which ozone is great, and then we also use food grade hydrogen peroxide, which you come in. which adds a little extra strength oxidizer if you have more people plunging, or if you just want it a little cleaner for longer, and definitely in a commercial setting. I love this idea that we have for this plunge. Like, some companies just use like these like softer covers or inflatable covers that have clips but not locks, and I love the idea of having a lock on it. I've had little kids over at parties. Even when I leave it in the backyard at night, it's just some peace of mind that like someone's not back here that I didn't know, and go in it and not realize that it's really cold water. Just as it also keeps it on there from blowing off. It's a little tight. Keeps things from crawling inside it, like bugs and stuff. This technology is really cool though. It's stand-up paddleboard if you're familiar with them. Oh, it's cold out tonight, baby. So this is drop stitch technology. That's what stand-up paddleboards are made out of. That's what other inflatable cold plunge companies, same technology. In between these walls, there's thousands of strings of nylon that are pulling each other apart. So this isn't just filled with air. There's tons of strings in between, and that's what gives it its really firm nature. It's like a military technology. They make some military boats and stuff out of it, but it's great. You don't have to make it really high PSI. The max is 10. I usually just put like 7 to 9 pounds, and it seems to be fine. It holds for a while. So that's how it gets its strength. It deflates and it's light, especially our material is even lighter than PVC, so it rolls up tight, goes in a book bag, throws in your trunk. You can bring it with you, bring it to a friend's house, bring it to a gym or a race or wherever you want to bring it. But yeah, that's how the technology works. It's drop stitch technology. It's a bunch of strings that hook through each side, and then when you pump it up, it pulls on those strings and it creates a really firm product. Like, I could sit on this. Got a thumbnail, but yeah, so it's pretty strong. And all the other cold plungers, they're made of PVC. So as you're doing this health practice, that's leaching chemicals. So if you don't know, PVC, PVC pipes in your house are solid rigid PVC. They're not bad because they don't leach chemicals, but in order to make that solid PVC flexible, like if you're gonna make a tub out of it or a shower curtain or any flexible PVC, they have to add a chemical to that solid PVC to make it flexible, and that's called a plasticizer. And plasticizers that's a toxic chemical. I don't know of any non-toxic plasticizers because they don't really exist. And a plasticizer leaches off the flexible plastic. It off-gases VOCs, so if it's your shower curtain, you breathe that in. And it comes off when you touch it, or if you're in water, it goes into the water and you absorb that into your skin. And plasticizers are EDCs, endocrine disrupting chemicals, that messes up your hormone system. There's also ones that are carcinogenic. They're just terrible chemicals. You don't like it. They decrease fertility. They screw up like all your systems. You really don't want that in you. So you don't want to be sitting in a cold plunge tub to get healthier. Meanwhile, it's a PVC tub that's leaching chemicals into it. And I don't know if these other cold plunge companies know that, but we know it, and that's why we spend so much time developing this tub. Like, this tub, as far as I know, is the only tub in the world that is made of a material that doesn't leach chemicals into the water. And I hope all the other cold plunge companies and other companies that make things that kids go in, like if you have a little like inflatable pool, it's made of PVC, it's leaching chemicals into that water. So hopefully they follow suit and they make tubs like this that are good for you. Well, I wouldn't say good for you. They're not bad for you. It's just a material that does it. That when you're in it, you're not getting these other side effects that you didn't know about. So I'm gonna go warm up. Boom. But it's not going under freezing tonight, so we can leave our chiller outside, and it'll filter that water, keep it clean. And then we have real cold weather coming the rest of the month. So I'll disconnect it, drain it, put it inside. But it's pretty low maintenance, baby.